Alrighty, so today I'll be talking about the Planetary Parade for January 21st, 2025. I know some people calling it planetary alignment. It is not alignment. All the planets are not about to be in one zodiac sign. It just means that the planets are going to be in a line in the sky that you can see with some with your naked eye and some will require a telescope. But that's up to you. If you want to see where you can see it, where you're located at in your time zone, look that up on the internet. I don't know that. I don't live where you live. This apparently happens once in 396 billion years. So we probably say civilization ain't gonna see this happen again. No time soon, at least. But there is another parade that is happening later on this year. So we got a lot of parades that is going on this year. Ooh, girl. Anyways, 6 planets will be in a line in the sky. Parade, not alignment. Mars, Jupiter, Uranus, Neptune, Venus, Saturn. Moving on, the sun is in Aquarius. Thank you to Capricorn season. Thank you for showing up, getting this new year started. Thank you. See you next year. Aquariuses, let's bring on the truth. Moon is in Libra, Mercury in Capricorn, Venus in Pisces, Mars in Cancer, Jupiter in Gemini, Saturn in Pisces, Uranus in Taurus, Neptune in Pisces, Pluto in Aquarius. Whew, we got a lot of revolutionary energy that's in the air right now. Let's get into the breakdown into the aspects. If you want to know how these aspects affect you, Patreon, message me there, message me on Instagram, or you can message me via my website. The only three, okay? Things is getting fishy, wishy-washy out here. So those 3 platforms, you'll reach me. Voice confirmation, video confirmation only, okay? Let's get into it. Sun squared with the moon in an applying aspect. Applying means the energy is more prevalent, whereas separating means that energy is less intense. That's all that means. So, in this particular aspect, sun squares moon is in an applying aspect. Individuality is what is at play here. There's tension between ego, the sun, which is basically our personality, how we show up, that energy versus our inner intuition, the moon. The sun being in the 4th house brings in themes of your home life, how you were brought up, and the moon being in its 1st house, which is kind of swapped. It's very interesting here. This time period will cause some struggles between the divine feminine and what is going on with ego. So intuitively, you're being called to do something. This is going to be ending cycles with the people you are currently living with, ending cycles within yourself and how the ideals that was in your childhood, ending those cycles and putting something more purposeful there. So I like to consider this energy to be more of a, just because y'all did that in 1950 don't mean I got to do that today. No, ma'am. So it's a fight between the old and the new, which is very much that Aquarian energy of Aquariuses. They are against the status quo, but at the same time, they do value some traditional aspects. They're in their fisticuffs. Libra more so want that harmony between everyone, but guess what? When change needs to be made, somebody's going to be uncomfortable and somebody's not going to get their way. Which brings up the 4th house. So once again, if your living situation is fighting against that internal harmony within you, this is a situation of it's either you or them. Who the hell you about to please? That's up to you. So expect for some things to be in shambles. Currently, when it comes to us versus the divine, some people, they are in a timeline where the moon is not moving. Whereas some of us were in the timeline where the moon is moving. So for me, everyone was like, oh my gosh, the moon is not moving. I'm confused because I'm going out and I'm looking at the moon and I'm like, the moon is waning. So yeah, I would say in that aspect, there's a split. The divine has some messages in that regard, but we're going to get into that in another day, in another video, okay? Because I'm filming this on TikTok and there's a record limit of 10 minutes. I recorded this the first time and it was closer to 20. So I'm trying to rapido, okay? Sun, opposition, Mars, separating aspect. This aspect is high and can be chaotic energy. The call of Aquarius being unpredictable and don't want to follow the status quo and wants to be a rebel, mixed in with the nature of Cancer from Mars. So now we have a I'm going to do what I want to do type energy. You're not going to tell me what I'm going to do. This can bring in unnecessary risk for a very little reward. In this case, you want to do what you want to do, calculate it out. That would be the exact opposite of what people would expect from this aspect currently. The energy currently is just, oh yeah, people are just driven by their emotions. They're going to do what they feel like doing and not put much thought behind it. In this case, that will harm you and give you very little reward. In this case, I think of people in TikTok. I literally told people, I was like, in December, all of these are about to get banned. Prepare and start diversifying your platforms. At the last minute, people ran over to Red Note, and apparently Red Note, the content you post there, they own it. So if somebody uses it or whatnot, you may not own the rights to it anymore. Literally out here signing contracts that you couldn't read because emotionally you didn't like being told what to do. Next page. Sun trines Uranus in a separating aspect. This aspect expect to feel more free in expressing your ideas when it comes to showing up for local communities. This aspect is for the revolutionaries, okay? You see a problem locally, globally, you're going to feel called to change it in some way, shape, or form. So for these people, you're going to be asked to step into this. You're going to be asked to step into the spotlight, whether that is as a leader, as a mentor, as a guide, something of that nature. You're being called to make a change. This is this aspect. So for those that feel that inkling that you're getting called on to being that guide, that you already have the knowledge and it's just time to show up, you're going to feel more of that, okay? I know I have, because this is way outside of my norm. I usually am holding on to my knowledge, and they're like, no, you need to go out there and share your knowledge, ma'am. Share it. So here I am at 2:38 a.m. on a Monday. Sun sextile Neptune in a separating manner. This aspect brings in Aquarius in its nature to disrupt the status quo by bringing in new knowledge, as well as Pisces being the representation of our imaginations and spirituality. In a way, these two will bring in more harmony. As we know, things exist in the spiritual realm before it gets to the material realm. So these two signs, they work extremely well together. Now, because of Aquarius's unpredictable nature, also have to remember to physically bring it into the material realm through planning and organization, which you're going to have to call on that within yourself. Also, this aspect will be calling out spiritual leaders. So literally, like the day before TikTok was banned, everyone came out and said, oh yeah, I lied to build my platform. There's a lot of institutions that'll be outed. So everything that has happened in the dark, and I've seen that at 818, everything that's happened in the dark will be brought to light. And you see, we didn't even have to trigger people to come out and tell their truths. People's out here just, oh yeah, I lied. All that makeup I put on my face, I actually wiped it off and put on normal amount. And that is just going across the board. And also spiritual leaders. A lot of people are about to be outed in that as well. So keep an eye out for that too. Sun conjunct with Pluto in an applying aspect. This here is on a humanitarian and once again spiritual level. Aquarius's, you should be expecting of that. And these two together, the Sun and Pluto, are in Aquarius. So it's just double the change, double the call to show up more in service to your community in order to improve it on a subconscious level and a conscious level. This grouping of people also can be manipulative, so keep an eye out for that. But when channeling this energy to use it for good, for the people and yourself, this is a great position of influence. If y'all want to get more into what I'm talking about here, you're going to have to catch me on my Patreon. I'm already at 9 minutes.